watching Thrifty Kaniffy. Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. Well, today we're going to be looking at a Rough Ryder Tortoise knife. Now this is from their newer tortoiseshell release. And it has the 440B blades and the nickel silver shield that looks like this shield here between the R's, which is like a little tortoiseshell. Underneath the handles you get the black liners, and let's take a closer look at the box here. We've got always high quality handmade pocket knives, tortoiseshell, imitation shell with black liners, cancer warning, country of origin is China, and we're looking at model number RR2454. Inside the box, knife came in a bag, felt liner, cut out there with the Rough Ryder logo at the top and the magnetic style close. So let's look at the knife. Let's go over some of the dimensions right off the bat here. So it's 3 7/8 inches from in the closed position. You get a ramfoot blade, and the ramfoot blade's made from 440B stainless steel. To the tang, you get about a 2 and let's call it 7/8 inch blade length. And then the cutting edge is right at about 2.5 inches. So what to say about the exterior? Well, we've got imitation tortoiseshell on the handle here, and I'll go into more depth about that in a minute. But we got nickel silver pins, nickel silver bolster here. That's that tortoiseshell. Closer look at that. A little bit proud on the top edge of the shield, but the pins are nice and smooth, and the nickel silver bolster has a nice pinch there, and then the thread, single thread design. On the back side, you can tell that the handle material is quite a bit more translucent in areas. The front is much darker. Now, one of the things that Tobias pointed out is with these black underliners that you have around the bottom here and then around the side, sometimes they get goopy by getting melted and then appear underneath the translucent area of the knife, kind of making for kind of an ugly appearance. I don't have that, but I do have the adhesive, where you can see it's been kind of, you like somebody used a paintbrush or something to apply it, and then there's like the strokes of the adhesive you can see underneath the liner there. I don't really know how that's avoidable, so it's not a big deal, but just something to point out. You can kind of see the brass liner underneath there, and the way that they have put it together. They have to use adhesive along with the pins, so keeps it nice and tight. But on the bottom you have brass liners and stainless spring. A little bit of a, well, I wouldn't say a little bit, it's a pretty decent sized gap. It goes from here all the way down here and gets a little wider as you go. Then it stops down here, but little wider gap than I'm used to seeing on Rough Ryder. It's a pretty significant one, but again, it's this $12.99 knife, so we have to kind of judge appropriately. I just don't really get why the handles were quite so drastically differing translucence from one side to the other. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So let's take a closer look at the blade. So you get the ramfoot blade. We have a half stop here and pretty solid lockup. We get about a 7 pull. Nice open and close. Pretty happy with the walk and talk there. That's pretty ideal. Satin finish blade on this one, ramfoot. And you get the match strike pull there. And this wedge here at the end. There's a look at the blade edge, and it's pretty even on this side. Not too bad. The other side would be a little worse. There's the tang stamp. Get the reverse R, and then the Rough Ryder script below it. Rough Ryder script looks like this, if you know what I mean. And it's just below the double R there. If we look at the back side, you can see the blade edge isn't quite as even, a little heavier towards the tip. Okay. And then we got the blade edge on this side. It gives you 440B, the steel material, blade material. Then below that you have RR2454, and then China below that, country of origin. So yes, Chinese made. And pretty happy with the action on it though. That really goes a long way with me, and that's very, very appealing walk and talk on this one. Very snappy. That 7 pull is just about ideal. You're not busting your nail, but it's not floppy either. So pretty much just in that perfect range of tightness. Now with many of the half hawks, you either have a 2-bladed version or a single-bladed version. I tend to prefer this single-bladed version. And you can see that the centering on this one's pretty good. But with the tortoiseshell series, the QC has, in my opinion, not been as good as some of their other series of late. And I've had plenty of examples I've had first-hand experience with that were pretty bad. In fact, a cotton sampler that I saw had blade rub on the side of the liner. It was so bad with the centering. And there's been reports of, like, you know, goop from the liners getting on the outsides and all kind of weird things going on with the QC. Now, like I said before, this has got a little bit of a proud shield and then that pretty significant gap on the bottom, but fortunately those aren't two things that I think are going to be too serious. That shield's not going anywhere, and that gap really ain't going to affect the performance of the knife. And for $13, I'm not really willing to complain about that. But pretty happy with the overall quality of the knife. Another thing, I'm not like a huge fan of sway backs. This has a little bit of a sway back, but it's not so pronounced that I feel like it's a, you know, irritant to me. It doesn't feel like it's pushing the knife forward in the hand. That's kind of the feel I get, is whenever I get a really large sway back that you feel like you have to adjust your wrist angle there. This is not that. It feels very comfortable in the hand. And that just extra little bit of swell here at the top kind of gives you a little more grip. So I'm good with that. This is about the ideal amount of sway that I want to see on a handle. So for those designers out there who care about my opinion, yeah, don't take it any further than that. That's as good as you need to go right there. But nice and comfortable in the hand, and a lot of confidence using that. I'm not going to be pressing that down and closing it on myself. So this is a really good little work knife. You know, a lot of people maybe prefer a spear point to a ramfoot, and I can see that. I mean, you're not getting that cutting edge all the way to the ground here at the tang area here, but generally for what I'm using it for, it's just a poke and slash type thing with a box or something like that, and this will work fine for that. No issues there. So for my needs, it will work fine. Maybe not for everybody's, but I do enjoy the half hawk. I think it's a nice design, and I'm glad that they're continuing to put out the single bladed versions. I think the last 3 that they did were all double bladed, so it was nice that they went back to that single bladed one. But that's going to do it for my review. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the half hawk. It's a pattern that I've only gotten 2 of. The other one being the Carbon Classic 2 and the T10 blade with the T10 blades and the micarta scales. This one, yeah, I'd probably prefer this one a little bit more. I would have liked it even more if they had maybe made those handles the same. But in any case, I'm not unhappy with it. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell to be made aware of videos when they drop. We'll see you next time. Take care.